Hi everyone, I just wanted to take a moment to show you guys how to customize the colors for your control handles on your rig. This is a purely optional thing that you can do, and it's not really going to be required for this project, but it might come in handy for some of you if you're struggling to work out which control handle is which while you're animating. So by all means, feel free to skip this process, but for those of you that are interested, I'm going to show you how it works. What I'm talking about is basically changing the colors of these control curves. And it's very easy to do. So what we do is we select a control curve. In this case, I'm going to grab the foot. We come up to the attribute editor, just here. And if we come down to object display, now note here that I'm actually in the shape node for the foot control. I'm not in the basic foot control node just here. We pop down to drawing overrides and we click on enable overrides just here. With the color set to index, what this does is it gives us a preset selection of system colors that we can work from. Note that clicking on the swatch does nothing. Basically what we can do is select colors from the slider. If you want a little bit more customization, you can change the color setting to RGB, and that will allow you to click on the swatch and then change the color of your controls. Okay, so generally speaking, what I tend to do is change the color of the left controls on the body. So this is going to be things like the left wrist, the left elbow, shoulder, knee, foot, to a green color. Okay, you could also use blue. That's also another common setup. I'm going to go with green. So what I'll do here is go to color, RGB, and I'm going to select the swatch and then set a green color. Now I want this to be like a mid-green. Some items such as cameras in Maya are actually set like a bright green like this. And other objects like locators are set to a dark green. So I'm going to go with a mid-green like that. Now once I've selected a color in here, when I move the mouse off this color picker and it vanishes, it's going to add this selected color into the swatch strip along here. So I can change the other controls on the left hand side of the body to the exact same green. So if I move that away and deselect, you'll see that that handle is now green. If I then select the knee control, notice that the attribute editor goes straight into the exact same node, and all I need to do is turn the overrides on, switch the color to RGB, and then click on the swatch and select the same green color that I just used before from the strip. And we just do that for all of the other handles on the left hand side. So enable overrides, switch it to RGB and select the same color. Like this. And I'll do the same thing for the shoulder. So we've now got these sort of mid-tone green handles. Okay. Now, the right hand side, generally the convention that's often used is we change those to red. So I'm just going to use the bright red color there. And we just do the exact same thing. We go through and we select this red color. Do the same thing up here for the right hand controls. Now note that it'll only do one at once, even if you've got multiple objects selected. It's not going to actually allow you to select them all at one time. There are ways of doing that, but they're a lot more complicated, and at this point it's probably a good idea for you guys to get comfortable just doing things the slightly long way so you understand the process rather than taking shortcuts and kind of getting stuck at a later date if you end up having to do them manually. Alright, the main control handle, I'm going to change the color of that, and there's different schools of thought here. Some people will create like a black handle like that. That's fine. A lot of the time I'll try and make these a lot brighter than they are. So in this case, I'm just going to double click the the swatch here, and that'll just give me a floating handle. What I'm going to do is change this to like a really bright yellow like this. Okay, and then I'll just hit done. And then for the body controls, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change those to sort of like an orange color. So I want sort of like a medium sort of orange for that one. And then these ones here, what we can do is just set these to a another color again. So I've got sort of orange for the body control, and then for these ones I'm going to set a color for these three. So I do want it to be sort of within that orangey yellow spectrum, but I might go like a heavier orange perhaps for those, just so they kind of stand out from the other controls. Now, as I said, this is a completely optional thing for this project. We don't necessarily need to do this, but for those of you that are interested, it can be pretty handy. Okay, so that's the process. You can do this with other objects as well, and you can also do it with things like models. In this situation, if I select this model and I do the exact same thing, so I go to render stats, object display I should say, and then we go into drawing overrides, enable overrides. Let's say I set this to RGB, and you know, like I select like an orange color. You can see that it actually makes the wireframe go that color. Alright, so it can be handy for setting up colors for things in your scene so that you can very easily find them, especially if you're in like a wireframe mode or something like that. That can work quite well. The nice thing about that you know, that setting is when you go into wireframe mode by hitting 4 on the keyboard, you can see that it actually is coloring the wireframe of the model. So that way, if you've got like a really busy scene, you can have all the different models kind of colored differently, so that way you can find them a lot more easily. Okay, so I'm going to leave this video here, and in the next video, for those of you that have actually watched this one, we will jump into doing a basic walk cycle with this character. So I will see you then.